Hello all, welcome to the very last round for TrackStars Touring Cars. This is the very last round, so we are wrapping up 10 years of touring cars in TrackStars, so it's a huge achievement both for Admin Jarman, Nick, Ryan, Ridwan, all the other series managers, admins, moderators. It's a huge effort for all the guys involved, a lot of history, a lot of memories, so we're just going to stream this very last race here. Just a nice parting gift. Nice parting to wrap up 10 years, which is huge, by the way. Huge achievement. Not many leagues still getting around that have been around for at least 10 years or more, so big congratulations to everyone involved. So currently here at Dragon Trail Seaside. Very, very tricky and technical track. So much can happen at this track, it's unbelievable. The effect of the dirty air around here, it's quite insane, especially through Sector 2. It's very, very hard to follow, so everyone's going to have to be on their A game to manage that dirty air and capitalise on early overtakes. And hopefully not too much drama, you never know. There's still plenty can happen, especially at this racetrack. So qualifying will probably happen very soon. Everyone's just getting a few more practice laps in before we get underway. So I'm sure Nick has all the drivers in the driver briefing at the moment. Just go through a few last moment information, briefings, rules, regs, and then we'll get underway. Some very fast guys out there at the moment. Ridwan here, who's got pretty much almost a title wrapped up. You'd have to have a diabolical race this evening for him to lose it. The team's championship is also not out of the question as well. From what I know, these guys here in the WTC cars, we have the big Smithy filling in for Ando, and Slappers aren't too far away in the team's championship as well. So have to look out for these two Lexus cars and see what they can get up to. Haha, thanks Furbinator. Thanks mate. This one isn't about me though. This one isn't about me. This is about these guys here wrapping up 10 years of touring cars. I'll have to catch up with you later, mate, if we have a bit of a debrief. So T3's done, T2 is done. Now we've just got to finish up the main category of touring cars. So everyone's kind of chilling out in pit lane at the moment, so I'm pretty sure quality isn't too far away. So from what I know, it's a 48 lap race tonight, so it'll be quite a long one actually, so a bit of endurance involved in this one. Everyone has racing softs available to use, however they are not mandatory, so whereas the mediums are. So if you want to use the softs, go for it, but you don't have to. So strategy will be interesting. You got a one stopper or a two stopper. One stopper, I'm assuming the one stopper will be medium. Medium tyres will last a little bit longer, but with the aerodynamic tuning that everyone has, for a little bit of dirty air, a little bit of tyre wear going through Sector 2, the medium tyres will be a little bit tricky. Or there's a two stopper, medium, soft, or you can break it up or however you like. But it'll be interesting to see what strategy plays out here. Don't think pit transfer will be too long. There will be fuel involved as well, so I'll be curious to see if anyone is down for saving fuel. Going back to those WTC cars, if Ando was on the grid here, I'm sure that would be a consideration for him. So yeah, not too many scenarios playing out as far as championships goes. As I did touch on before, Ridwan has to have quite the horror night to be able to lose it. We do have Josh Green for CP Motorsports holding down P2 at the moment, and Justin Ladaway making his main debut for KPL in the Lexus RCF in third position. Big shout out to Justin, by the way. Huge effort your first year of mains, first season of mains I should say. Had a bit of a tough run in Enduros, a few other up and down results, and his wheelbase disconnecting early on in the season as well, but he's finished really strong, so that's really encouraging for Justin. We'll have to see what he can do next season around. We've got a few new faces, or somewhat familiar faces on the grid. That's what I was saying. Smithy filling in for Ando for WTC Racing. We have another new face here for KPL Racing as well. So yeah, a bit of a mixed up grid. Also Stingray racing the second Mishkari Motorsport Nissan GTR. Stingray's been very quick in TS2, has shown his speed already in his brief time in TrackStars, so have to keep an eye out for him. And he had a really good race the last round as well, filling in for Ryan Palmer. Very much on the pace at Tokyo, so I have to see what he can do here. Very intrigued. Also, a bit of a shout out to MTM as well. Not entirely sure what their future in TrackStars is, let alone Gran Turismo, so hopefully they can finish off the last round here with a really good result for those guys. Mitch is very wrapped up in the iRacing world right now, and his team, his league, are doing big things over there, so not entirely sure what they'll do, but hopefully they can finish off strong. So quali's still a little bit away. A few little delays at the moment. We'll just looks like we're getting underway now. Yes. Yeah, it looks like we're getting underway now, so we have 10 minutes of qualifying. Is it 10 minutes? I'm pretty sure it's 10 minutes. I guess we'll find out in a moment. So, yes, qualifying will be on the medium tyre. Medium tyre is mandatory for qualifying. So everyone will just kind of be getting their feet wet at the moment, getting a feel for the track, getting a feel for the car and the tyres, and the wind as well. The wind seems to be quite pivotal for how the car behaves on the track. I know me personally threw me off, and I'm sure he did for a bunch of others as well. So we'll have to see what the pace is like, with the wind kind of going mostly in northerly direction, kind of going off to the west a bit. So we're going to have a headwind down into the hairpin at the end of the second sector, and we have a tailwind going through turn 1, 2 and 3. So everyone's just going to have to adjust a little bit to the conditions. Hope we have some nice clean laps out here. So the Big Smithy leads the pack at the moment. Like I was saying, these WTC cars aren't entirely out of the team championship picture. They're within a touch, so they'll have to pull off a great race this evening to be able to maybe jump It's Sapphire Racing for the team's title. So we're just going to get our initial laps on the way here, our bankers. So quite bunched up at the moment, so... Oh, big slide there. Who was that? Matt Campbell. Huge slide. That's the way to get your banker underway. Pretty sure his heart would have hit the ground there. Good catch. So yeah, I don't know if there'll be any blistering times early on here. The mediums tyres will take a little bit longer to warm up. We'll probably start seeing everyone's optimum around their second or third lap. Always good to get a reasonable fast banker in though, just a bit of a safety net. Josh Green here coming through turns 2 and 3. P2 currently in the championship. It's been a stellar year for Josh. Former TS2 champions come up into mains and join the CP team in the top flight of touring cars. They've done a really, really good job. So big shout out to Josh. I'm sure he'll be looking for a really good result here tonight to finish up. Even though GT7 might be his second preferred game at the moment. He's enjoying his ACC a lot at the moment. But yeah, Josh Green's starting to become quite a familiar face around the community. So I have to see if he can pull off a strong result here. So it looks like we've got someone already in the pit lane here. Maybe damage perhaps, not entirely sure. Yeah, front aero damage there for Smithy in the WTC car. It looks like Ryan Palmer with engine damage. So something has really gone wrong there on board the 16 car there. Lucky there's enough time for him to get at least some laps in. So now that everyone's done their first laps, we'll go to the top of the leaderboard here. And as I was about to, I've noticed Ridwan's in the pit lane as well, and a 3-second penalty. So it looks like he probably got damage as well. There's already a few mistakes early on in the session. So the top of the leaderboard now, we have Stingray in the MCM machine filling in for Nico. Currently holding down P1 with the 29.1, followed by Les Sandwich for the WRT, Nismo GTR, currently in P2. Fonduve for WTC in P3, and Nick Patasso in P4 aboard the mashed Spuds racing machine. So Nick is currently in P4, and from what I know, I'm pretty sure he's also P4 in the championship, or it might be Ward. I have to double check that. Oh, we also have Isaac Fogg in here. I didn't even realise. I didn't even see him in here. Sorry, mate. Apologies to me. But yes, Isaac Fogg filling in for Crestdale, the number 5 MSR car, and he's starting his outlap now, so he's had to come into pit lane as well. So all the types are tumbling now. Geez, we're getting a lot of damage here in this session, aren't we? So a fair bit already happening. So Stingray still currently top of the timing sheet, filling in for Nico in the MCM car. So Mitch will be stoked to see one of his machines currently at the top of the timing sheets right now. Justin Ladaway has jumped into P2 with a 29.3. Looks like Justin's rolling out of it at the moment, holding the rev limiter there in 3, so he's probably preparing for the next lap. Fonduve still holding it down in 3rd, and Les Sandwich in 4th. 3/100ths in front of Patasso, so we'll have to see if Nick can improve. There's a fair bit of traffic going on here, by the way. Everyone seems to be quite bunched up, which is surprising. Some people have some clear air. Isaac Ward here has a good amount of clear air in front of him. We'll have to see what he can do here. We might just go on board for at least a little moment here. See what Ward can do as he crosses the start-finish line. And he improves up into 3rd position with a 29.4. So Mitch Curry Motorsport currently has 2 cars in the top 3. And as I just say that, Patasso has jumped into P2 and taken that right away from the MCM cars and now sits on the front row. And has a little bit of traffic to deal here as well. And gets a slide on, full Nick Patasso style. I've always said this guy loves to drive on a 45-degree angle. And the times on Ridwan now shows his pace with a 29 flat, but still not much of a gap to Stingray. So the 2 drivers that were incredibly fast at Tokyo the previous round, now Stingray filling in for a different team again. And LJ has come across the line here with a 29.1, super fast by LJ, splits Stingray and Ridwan and joins Hamza on the front row in a WRT car. It's a huge lap by LJ. And gets a slide on, huge save. I'm sure he would have felt that one after putting on a stonker of a lap like that. So LJ, huge lap there to currently hold down P2. We'll have to see who else is on a lap at the moment. Spud's currently dealing with a little bit of traffic at the moment. We'll have to see what Justin Ladaway is up to here in P6. He definitely has some more pace. Not much of a gap between him, Patasso, and Josh Green. As a matter of fact, look at these gaps, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Von Duve 10th off Ryan Palmer in 8th, and it just becomes smaller and smaller as we go up the order here. So Justin Ladaway about to come over the start finish line now for KPL. Can he improve on his time? Not quite. So we'll have to see what some of these guys here can do from 4th down to 8th. And Ridwan improves to a 28.8. That is a stonker of a lap, and puts 3/10 on Les Sandwith in WRT. Looks like LJ's backing off here to prepare for a lap. We'll have to see what else he can do. Looking at the timer, I'm not entirely sure how much longer we have left in this session, but by the looks of it, perhaps maybe some of the last laps for some of these guys. And Ridwan going purple again. So he's definitely got a little bit more pace up his sleeve. But the race pace will definitely be a different story. Stingray still in 3rd. And he's doing a PB in the Sector 2. Up nearly 2/10 on his best time at the moment. But we have noticed turn. The very last turn on this track is quite tricky. So a lot of trail braking needed at this circuit. Very technical. So Stingray navigating the last corner now with maybe the slightest toe from the CP car up ahead. Can he improve? And yes, he does. He splits LJ and Ridwan. Only a 10th behind Hamza. So this is a do-or-die lap now here for Stingray. He's got Matt Campbell just in front of him, so maybe a little bit of dirty air might throw him off, but we'll have to see how that transpires. As we'll just have a little look down the order here a little bit more. So Patasso still holding down 5th. Josh Green in 6th. Justin Ladaway in 7th. And it looks like he's gotten damage here. Ladaway, I was wondering why he was going so slow. Von Duve for WTC in 8th. Ryan Palmer in 9th. Smithy in 10th, filling in for Ando, currently sitting in pit lane. Matt Campbell for CP Motorsports in 11th, and heavy damage at the front and the rear of the car. So plenty going on there for Matt Campbell. Isaac Fogg in the number 5 MSR car in 12th position currently. Airborne, I should refer him to. We'll just say Airborne in 30th place. And Scott, the other WRT car, holding down 14th position. So I have to see if any others can improve. Stingray's currently pushing at the moment. We'll have to see if he can do anything. And I've also just noticed Ward jumping to 4th position in the other MCM car. So a great quality session for the MCM cars. Can Stingray improve? Unfortunately not. Well and truly can't. So something has happened on that lap. So it looks like most people are finished here. Ridwan's finishing off a lap here. So is Josh Green. Let's see what Josh Green can do. And giving Ridwan a little bit of a toe as well. Can he improve? Oof, not quite. And Ridwan. No, he set that 28.6. So 28.6 on lap 6 of the session. Ridwan completes qualifying with pole position. That'll really help his championship charge as he looks to wrap it up tonight. Stingray filling in again, this time for MCM. Mishko Motorsport in 2nd position in the Nismo GTR, followed by Les Sandwith in 3rd position. Great job by LJ to get in 3rd there for qualifying. Followed by Ward in P4, the other MCM cars. So 2 cars in the top 4, so huge effort there by the 2 temporary teammates. Patasso in 5th position in the first of the MSR cars. Josh Green in 6th. Justin Ladaway 7th. Von Duve in 8th. Palmer in 9th. Smithy in 10th. Matt Campbell 11th. Isaac Fogg in 12th. Eben in 13th. And Scott in 14th. So that's your grid for this evening. So looks like the session's just getting dragged out a little bit, I think. Smithy parked up in the pits. But that's alright, we've got our grid set. And yeah, that's all sure for qualifying at least. We'll have to see what happens now with the race. So I'll go over those results in the moment when they pop up. We've got 48 laps of action around here, Dragon Trail. 10 years of TrackStars touring cars. As I did say at the top of the stream, huge shout out to all the people involved with the season. 10 years. What a shout. Anyway, so let's go through qualifying again. So Ridwan finishes on pole position with a 28.6 on the medium tyre, by the way. Huge shout out to Ridwan, followed by Stingray filling in. Fumich Curry, Sandwich, Ward, Batasso, Green, Ladderway, and Von Duvet are your top 8. Followed by Palmer, Smithy, Campbell, Isaac Fogg, Eben, and Scott fill out positions 9 to 14. So this is going to be quite the race. As I was saying before, guys, strategy is going to be interesting. 1 stop, 2 stints on the medium tyres, or a 2 stop going 2 stints on the soft tyre and 1 stint on the medium tyre. Or softs. One of the two. Depends how you want to bunch it up. Start on the softs, go finish on the softs. A few different ways you can go about it, but personal preference at the end of the day. And I'll assure you, with all the dirty air, cold tyres, there's going to be a fair bit of action going through turn 3, as there always is. Also, turn 4 is a good spot as well, and the hairpin. And the last corner isn't a bad shout either, if you're close enough. So plenty to play for here, guys. Looks like we're going to get underway soon. And yeah, I might just take a minute to get ready for the start of the race. So again, guys, 10 years of touring cars at TrackStars, 10 years of running these beautiful GT500 cars. Huge shout out to all former and current moderators, admins, managers, Jarman, Nick, Ryan, all the people have been part of the history, part of the community for such a long time now. So it's a huge achievement regardless. And especially during the pandemic scene and the early days of GT6, going GT Sport. Quite a lot has happened throughout the time. So it looks like we aren't too far away. Everyone's putting R in a text chat, so looks like we're probably a minute or so from getting underway. So we aren't too far away, guys. Quick little squizzer again at your grid order for the very last round of the top division in touring cars. So there's your top 8 there. Big shout out to Ridwan getting pole position. 2 MCM cars in the top 4. Some of those gaps there are quite close. Going third down to 8th. There's only a couple of tenths in it. Looks like we're about to get underway now, everyone. So, and looks like we have a rolling start. So I'm not entirely sure if that's what's the plan with the rolling start. But anyway, maybe that's the plan. I don't know. Whoever is race director might have to. Yep, there we go. Red flag has been called. So it looks like there's a settings issue with that one. Let's just double check everything. Yep, we've had an accidental rolling start there. So looks like we'll have to give that another go. So yeah, we'll just pause again, guys. We've had a red flag, and we'll get underway again soon once the grid order's been set. So yeah, unfortunate red flag there. Oh, looks like looks like those guys are all over it. Anyway, so we'll sit tight, and yeah, hopefully we get going soon. So yeah, but I'll be back on the mic in a couple of minutes, guys. Yeah, looks like we aren't too far away from race start. Hopefully no more issues. Still looks like we're dealing with some issues, so we'll just double check everything for. Just check this all for the guys. It looks pretty sweet from here, from what I knew. Righto. Seems alright. Yeah, seems like we're still having some issues here. Yep, looks like we're all good to go here. Finally, we can get underway. Righto, guys. Again, huge shout out to all people involved getting 10 years of TrackStars touring cars. So it looks like we're about to finish up the 2024 season here. Ridwan Hamza leading the way. Hopefully a clean start by all. So lights are about to go out. Look for action going into turn 2, 3 and 4. It will be hotly contested. So Red 1 leads us away. From the start, looks like Stingray's gotten a great start as well. Maybe not. Not too far away. LJ and Ward are right there in the slipstream as well. Hopefully, nice and clean going through here. Great apex there by Red 1, but it's all happening here in the background. We've got cars going sideways. Is there any incidents going on back here? Smithy, unfortunately, parked up right on the outside of the entry into turn 3 there. So Smithy with a bit of a moment there. Hopefully it wasn't too chaotic for him, but at the moment we're out the front here with Red 1 Hamza, Stingray in the MCM car, Sandwich in 3rd position in the WRT car, Patasso in P4 and Ward in P5. So Ward here not too far away from the back here of Patasso. Will he have a go? He's right under there. Is he going to have a send? And he does. Can he get the car stopped? Maybe a little bit of contact there, not entirely sure. But Ward takes the position away from Patasso. But he'll be right back under his slipstream here. Can Patasso have a little bit of a look? Navigates the death chicane there quite nicely. But Ward just got a little bit of drive. Oh, and we've got some messages here in the text box. Looks like Palmer's got the hazards on. So something has happened back here. Seems like there's 2 cars here. So Josh Green, currently in last position, so something has transpired there. With Ryan Palmer, perhaps. So do you have to keep note, guys? Possibly some drivers out there running different tyre compounds. Some might be on the medium, some might be on the soft, depending if they're running a 1 or 2 soft strategy. So as we did see in the opening sprint race at Tokyo, Red 1 and Stingray leading the way, 1 and 2, and only half a second between those 2 drivers at the moment. And Sandwich doing a phenomenal job holding on to P3 in the Marine Machine. So Sandwich was a podium finisher in the very last race last season in the Super Formulas in the main division. So can he go back-to-back seasons finishing on the podium again in the top division? We'll have to see what he can do. And as I say that, that is a diabolical commentator's curse there, but Sandwich, in a matter of a corner, drops from P3 all down to P6, and he's under threat here by Ryan Palmer, who gets right out wide and saves the car. But LJ is right there. How are these 2 guys going to navigate this corner here? I'm not entirely sure. A little bit of side contact on the wall there by LJ. Gets through, but Justin Ladaway here, right in the slipstream, moves it over to the right. Is he going to go for a send? We'll have to see with what he can do. Gets into the corner there, and Ladaway is able to get through, but the LJ will be right back in the slipstream here off Justin Ladaway. See if he can pull off a move. We have to go the movie camera for this one, so they're side by side at the moment. And I don't know what I've just noticed here, but I've just looked at the top of the leaderboard, and Patasso is suddenly in P2. So Josh Green is well last, and we've got Nightwalker, Campbell, and Stingray all in pit lane. So I'm not entirely sure if that was for damage. We did see Stingray put the soft tyre on, so I'm not entirely sure if that was to fix damage or if it's a strategy call, but Nightwalker, the other WRT car from Sandwich, has come out ahead of Stingray, so that's quite interesting. I'm assuming Stingray has gotten damage there somehow. It's all happening, ladies and gentlemen. Now look at the top of the leaderboards here. Looks like Ward is now holding down P2. So we've got positions changing left, front and centre here. Suddenly Stingray's lost P2 as Patasso, and now Ward's in P2. But Patasso's in P3, so he's not too far away. Von Duve, huge club up the order there, holding into P4 at the moment. And keep in mind, these guys aren't completely out of the team's championship either, fighting against its FR Racing, so the WTC cars will be on the mission to hunt down as many points as they can to hopefully get some silverware for them. Palmer in P5 at the moment, so that's a decent recovery, and he's right here on the rear bumper here of Von Duve. Can Von Duve do anything about it? Yeah, side by side, and Von Duve just outbreaks Palmer. They're going to 2, but his exit will be compromised coming out to turn 3, but Palmer's just a little bit too far behind to do anything about that. So much has already happened, and we're on lap 4 here, so will everyone get into a sequence? I'm not entirely sure. So LJ will be dirty about that off there. Was holding down a comfortable P3. But it's dropped down to P6, but lucky it's only lap 4, and we see Palmer go off. How did he save that? That was an incredible save by Ryan Palmer, but LJ's right here. I wonder if he's close enough. I don't think he'll throw it. Palmer parks in the middle of the apex, but gets a decent exit there. LJ just lit up the tyres there a little bit. So yeah, wow. Now it looks like everything's settled down. So whilst all that was transpiring there in the background between Stingray, Ward and Patasso all trading P2, Ridwan on lap 4 of 48 has already stretched his legs out to a near 6-second lead and puts down the fastest lap of the race with a 29.1. So 29.1 pace. I'm assuming he is on the medium tyre. So Ward in P2. So Ward's done a good climb up here early on with fresh air in front of him. Followed by Patasso in P3 for Mash Butts Racing in the Lexus RCF GT500. Von Duve in 4th position. And LJ fending off Ryan Palmer here, and he's gotten through and is now into P5. So we did see Palmer go off the lap prior through the S's. He somehow saved it. And now these guys here, and Palmer and Ladaway will be dealing with dirty air. So this is a good little banner pack here to keep an eye on. Doesn't look like these guys are close enough here to make a move on LJ. Bit of a laid back there by LJ. Battling the car a little bit. Ryan Palmer almost got overlap there, but just quite not close enough. But he'll be in the slip here. We'll have to see if Palmer does make a move. If he does, I don't think LJ will fight this too much. Moves the car over. LJ just doesn't fight him too much and lets him through, but gets better corner exit. LJ does. Now he's right onto the back of him. As we're watching this, I've just noticed Patasso is in pit lane as well. So he's got something going on there, but we'll have to keep an eye on Sam with Ryan Palmer moves it over. Does he get the move done? Palmer late into the corner, but squeezes Palmer just ever so slightly, but it's not. No, but now it's invited in Ladaway, so Sandwith has to move the car over. Yeah, Justin doesn't feel like he's close enough there for a move. Better corner exit again, but it's a bit of a one lane line through here. If we do see any sense into this corner right here, it'll be quite the move. Von Duve up into P3 as a result of Patasso transiting pit lane. So Von Duve showing really good race pace early on. So there's some good signs there that Von Duve might be on for a strong race this evening. So maybe we should go through the order again, but I might go from the bottom here. So Urban in 14th position in the first of the KPL cars. Hoddy down P14 at the moment. Followed by Isaac Fogg in 13th in the number 5 MSR car, filling in for Crestdale. Josh Green in P12, so something has happened with Josh Green early on in this race. Hopefully it wasn't too controversial or any sort of racing incident, but I'm sure we'll hear about it post-race if there is. So Josh Green on a recovery mission. Lucky he's got plenty of time on his side, so one rule out a potential top 10, top 8 finish for Josh Green. The next CP car, as I just crossed to him, he's just lost it there a little bit on the last corner. We did see him have quite the tank slapper on the last corner, starting his banker lap and qualifying as well. So the last corner is quite tricky. So Matt Campbell in the next CP car holding down P10. And Pitarso in P9. So he did come into the pit lane on the end of lap 5. So on track 9th at the moment, but won the contention for a possible podium finish for Pitarso. The other WRT car here tonight, along with Sandwich, Scott in P8. Fastest lap time at the moment is just 30.5, so maybe some indicators there. He is on the medium tyre. As we do look at Stingray in P7 with the fastest lap of the race. A 28.2, definitely a soft tyre sort of lap time right there. So aerodynamic balance of these cars will be interesting going from the 2 tyres. The only tuning allowed in this top division is downforce and the anti-lag for the turbo, so I'm sure most people put it on strong depending on personal preference again. Some people like it on weak, depends who you talk to, but the cars will feel very different depending on what downforce you decide to run with on the medium tyre depending to the soft tyre. So Stingray, that lap 7 was actually a 33 flat, so maybe a bit of an incident there, pushing. So he's coming on lap 2 there. I did see that early in the race, so I'm really curious to know if he got damaged. But anyway, Stingray in 7th position on the soft tyre. Ladaway in 6th for Kiwi Pit Lane. Kiwi Pit Lane now have just, after this race, would have done 1 full year in the top division in TrackStars, filling it in for what was known as HEU. So huge congratulations to all the KPL guys, Mason and the fellow cohort there of our favourite Kiwis, putting in 2 Formula cars earlier this season, now entering 2 Lexus RCF GT500s in the top division. So yeah, huge congratulations to the KPL guys debuting in their first full year in the top division as a TrackStars team. Big shout out to those guys. So Sam with MP5, and again, still battling with Ryan Palmer here. So these guys are currently neck to neck. And LJ does his fastest lap of the session at 29.4. And his previous lap was at 29.8, so he's still finding pace in that GTR Nismo 500. So he's managing that dirty air well if he's putting through PBs at the moment. And Ryan Palmer with the 30.1 that previous lap, so Palmer's either made a mistake on this lap or maybe fighting the car. But LJ is right under his rear bumper, so it'll be single file through here. We'll have to see if he can put a move on through the hairpin. So you can just see that dirty air really affecting Sandwich here in the WRT car. And look at the gap Palmer has pulled just from that section alone. So there's multiple car lengths back, and actually LJ's fallen back under a second now to Ladaway from that alone. So just goes to show, once the cars get unsettled with hot air going through the front splitter, it can really affect mechanical grip. Fonduve currently in 3rd position. On the previous lap set his PB with a 29.4, so it looks like everyone's starting to stretch out their legs now, getting a few more tenths, going faster and faster. Ward currently in P2, we're in the healthy gap between himself and Fonduve. And unfortunately, you probably want to like it, but at least he doesn't have another car directly in front of him, so he can just get into a sweet rhythm, as you can tell here. Great consistency there by Ward. From lap 3 to lap 9, they're all in the 29s, 29.7, 8.57, 5.95. So Ward really in flow state right now. This will really bode well later on in the race with his consistency. And Ridwan, just a man on his own right now. Again, fantastic consistency, similar to Ward. Lap 2 there, all the way to lap 9. His slowest is 29.9 from what I can see. All the others have been within 4, 3, 5 tenths or so. So it's really good consistency there by Hamza. So now it looks like things have quietened down a fair bit now. LJ has dropped off the back here of Ryan Palmer. And Ladaway isn't too far away. He set his personal best lap on the previous lap with the 29.7. So Ladaway now starting to find some pace. Be really important for him to be able to navigate the dirty air, just to create that opportunity for himself. Might just go down the order here. We'll track the progress of see how everyone's doing. So Isaac Fogg here in 13th position. Isaac is his first and goes wide. Oh, great save. It looks like Urban isn't too far away. Got a bit of a better exit there, but isn't quite close enough for the send. But yeah, Isaac Fogg is his first year. Well, looks like he's checked up there. Perhaps a redress there by Isaac Fogg. So maybe something's happened? I'm not entirely sure. Josh Green, his fast lap of the session on the previous lap, the 29.1. So ever since that incident early on in the race, he's been doing straight 29s as well. So it seems like the fastest cars on track at the moment are Ridwan, Ward, and Josh Green. We'll have to check in with Stingray as well. He's in the 28, so this guy is definitely the fastest on track at the moment. He's absolutely on the soft tyre and he's making it work. And what is crazy about his pace right now, he's only 7 seconds away from Ladaway, so he is really flying at the moment, Stingray. So he's absolutely maximising that soft tyre and putting it to really good use. It's been really good that he's had clear as well, so he's just been able to go lap after lap after lap. But the tyre degradation will start to come in at some point. We'll have to see how he manages it. But absolute two-stopper here for Stingray for sure. This might be actually a good opportunity now to jump in with everyone's info on their car, see what tyres they're on, where the fuel numbers are at, what the tyre burn, tyre degradation is at to Ridwan. As I suspected on the medium tyre, not too much degradation there, and really good consistency. Lap 11 he's punched out at 29.2 and his PB is at 29.1, so that's a really good spread of consistency there for Ridwan. As that fuel tank does come down, it will certainly help the pace as well. So Ward on the medium tyre as well. Straight 29, similar to Ridwan. His tyres are very similar. A crumb of difference, but still quite the same. So Ward's in a good position here as well. Von Duve in P3, so he's burned a little bit more fuel compared to Ward and Ridwan, but I guess he has been fighting for position. And he is on the medium tyre as well. 29.4 for that lap for Von Duve. Very close to his PB on lap 8 actually, so Von Duve showing some speed here at the moment. But only 7/10 ahead of Ryan Palmer. He's starting to find a little bit of pace as well in the last 4 or 5 laps. Palmer doing his personal best on lap 10 with the 29.2, and he's on the medium tyre as well. And these two guys here, Von Duve and Palmer, have actually burned more fuel at the front, so it won't be too much of a difference, but it can cost valuable seconds, especially if you're fighting someone very close to you on track. Same with in P5 on the medium tyre as well, and look how wide he went there on the entry through the S's, so not sure if he missed his turning mark or if his dirty air's going that far, but Sandwith on the medium tyre as well has just a smidge more fuel than Palmer, but quite similar to Von Duve. Ladaway on the medium tyre and has significantly more fuel than these guys up ahead. So he's sitting around the 40 to 35-ish mark. So he's got much more time to save in pit lane for the fuel compared to Sandwith and Palmer. So you can see the difference there. So you can see that fuel number there for Von Duve, for Palmer and Sandwith and Ladaway. If all these guys pit at similar times, I wouldn't be surprised if Ladaway does come out ahead of these 3 cars ahead of him. Not entirely sure about Von Duve, but I think there's a strong chance that he will be able to get ahead of Palmer and Sandwith in the first sequence of pit stops. And Stingray is on the soft tyre. And I'm not entirely sure who just swept around there. Looks like there's lap traffic, but yeah, you can see that degradation on that soft tyre. So those last 2 laps for Stingray now, he's into the 29, so the tyre now will cross over to a similar pace of what the guys on the mediums are doing. But it's still a really good stint there on the soft tyre, but for a 2-stopper. So yeah, I would assume that he might have got damage early on. That's why perhaps he's maybe gone for the strategy. Patasso's dropped back into PA. Got some pretty good pace there, mostly in the 29s there. He's on the medium tyre as well, and he's got plenty of fuel, Patasso. So, I wonder if he changed tyres. I have a suspicion that maybe he's just put on fuel and repaired damage, but kept the tyres on. So interesting here for Patasso. So what he's done here, we did see it in the endurance races early on in the season. We saw it from Josh Green and a few other drivers purposefully get out of sequence, or if they did have an incident, go for the alternate strategy. What that actually ends up doing for you is you have clear air for 80-90% of the race. So we'll have to see if Patasso can climb up some positions going for an alternative strategy. So we have Scott in the next WRT car with the medium tyres as well. Pretty low fuel there, so he's been quite comfortably revving it out. Holding down P9 for the moment. And Josh Green only 7 seconds away from him on the medium tyre. Plenty of fuel as well. So he's got fuel on his side. Smithy in 11th, filling in for Ando Scott. Fresh tyres, good amount of fuel, so he must have come into the pit lane on lap 6. But look at it, so he's putting in a good amount of fuel in the car. So he might be going for quite a long run at the moment, so he'll just be chugging away, trying to get the best consistency as he can, and hopefully it'll shoot him up the order. Evan here in the KPL car is on the medium tyres. Good amount of fuel here. He'll be similar approach to Smithy in the KPL car. Matt Campbell has actually just come out of pit lane not too long ago, so nearly a full tank. Fresh tyres. He's going to go for quite a long stint here, Matt Campbell in the CPR car. So yeah, he will probably be on track for at least another 15 or so, maybe more laps. And Isaac Fogg has come into pit lane not too long ago as well, and just sets a personal best on that lap there. So yeah, not really too much happening at the moment. Ridwan comfortably in the lead. He stretched that lead out to 9 seconds now. Was 7 seconds not too long ago. Still chilling in the 1 minute 29s. Hasn't even gotten the 1 minute 30 yet, so Ridwan putting on a great stint at the moment. Ward's putting in a really good stint here as well. All in the 1 minute 29s as well. It seems like there's a train of cars forming here at the moment, so we were needing a little bit of action. So Ryan Palmer, only 8/10ths off the back of Onduve, and looks like Ladaway has kind of been hanging in around there with Sandwith, but if you look at these fuel numbers, so the bottom left-hand side of the screen, you can see Ryan Palmer's fuel, Onduve's fuel, Sandwith's fuel, and look at Ladaway's fuel here, so he's got a chunk more fuel on board. So look for him as the pit sequence happen now. We have one of our first stoppers here of that pack here in Ryan Palmer. So it looks like he's just maybe trying to get out of the pack, get some clear air, try to put in a couple fast laps here, maybe try to get a little bit of a break here. So we'll have to see if he does put the medium tyre on as he fuels up the car. I know Patasso was battling for podium positions early on, so we'll have to see how close Patasso is to jumping him, and comfortably. So it looks like Palmer will come out behind Patasso here. So these guys currently are battling for podium places. So Palmer's put in a pretty good stint there fighting with Von Duve, but we'll have to see if Von Duve responds. Does he come into pit lane or does he go for another couple of laps? That was a pretty good call there by Palmer. He was under the rear wing there of Von Duve. So we'll have to see if he decides to stay out or if he does come in. I'm also very, very intrigued to see what Ladaway does here. Does he come in at the same time or does he try extend that fuel save? I think if he comes in very soon, you know, he doesn't necessarily need to from a fuel point of view, but he can definitely jump everyone as far as Sandwich and perhaps even Palmer and Von Duve at this point. Might also check it with Stingray here. He did come in early to put the soft tyre on. Only car on track at the moment, actually, with the soft tyre. So you can see that pace has gone from mid to high 28s. Well, we started on low 28s, but now it's dropped into the 29s, and his pace is probably quite similar to what some of these guys are doing now, similar to Ladaway, Sandwich. So Stingray's probably going to have to come into pit lane sooner rather than later. Or maybe the strategy probably forces him to run those softs as long as they can without blowing up. And Palmer has put on the soft tyre. So Ryan Palmer is going to be looking for a big undercut play on Von Duve now. So it looks like Palmer has committed to a 2-stop himself. So he'll probably go soft to finish. Have to check in at the back of the field here and see if anything else happening. Looks like Scott for WRT is in pit lane at the moment. Does he put on the soft tyre? And he does. So I have to see what sort of pace he has on the soft tyre. He's got some blue flags happening up here as well. Looks like red one is coming through here. Oh no, that wasn't red one, sorry. It was warm. Good stuff there by Mike Walker. So it's quite spread out here in some of these gaps here. Nice debut here by Evan in the Kiwi pit lane Lexus machine, holding down P11 at the moment on the medium tyre. Josh Green currently on the recovery drive and doing quite a good job at that as well. Quite unfortunate what's happened to him early in the race. Didn't get to really see what happened. Something did transpire on lap 2 or 3, I think it was, but he's only 7.3 seconds off Palmer. And he did pit early as well, and Palmer only pitted recently, but he is on the soft tyre, so that just goes to show the recovery there by Josh Green to only be 7 seconds off Palmer. Despite his incident, he was well off the pack. So Josh Green putting on a stellar drive to bring himself back into the picture for a potential top 8 finish. So it doesn't look like we're seeing any more pit stops, as we do see Stingray now coming to pit lane. So this is actually now his second stop of the race. So the fresh tyres, he'll put a little bit of fuel in the car. We'll have to see if Patasso's definitely going to jump in. Palmer's definitely going to jump him. We'll have to see if Josh Green can jump Stingray. If he can, that's a mega job if he can do it. We will have to keep an eye on this rejoin if it is close at all. Now it looks like Stingray's going to fuel the car a fair way, so never mind. So it looks like he's getting as much fuel as he can on his side. And he's put the medium tyre on, so we'll be looking for a long stint now. And Smithy's actually jumped him in that process as well. So unfortunately for Stingray, strategy has put him in an awkward position here with potential podium race winning even pace. Let's slid him down into P10 for the time being. It's Ridwan now holding out a 10.4 second lead over Ward, and he's done his PB on lap 16 now. And now this is probably the battle we're looking for. So Von Duvet and Sandwich have both come into the pit lane. Ladaway continues to run longer with the fuel save. So Von Duvet just a little bit more track position. So just for that track position alone, already he's got that fuel on sooner. So even though they might have entered pit lane together quite close to each other, Von Duvet's going to get a much bigger gap on exit. So Pitasso's going to jump these two, and so will Palmer. So that's a huge play for Palmer. So that's a massive shot there for Palmer, who is undercut both of these guys by a long shot, and Josh Green has even jumped them as well. So they've both fully fueled the car. Von Duvet puts the medium tyre on, and Sandwich has put the medium tyre on as well. So, which is interesting because maybe the two-stop race ago, these guys have felt as though they're going to put the mediums on again. They have the fuel to do it. So yeah, definitely one stopper for those guys. Big shout out to Smithy as well. LJ, who was in the podium positions under a second from Sandwich. And Stingray's too far off Sandwich as well. So yeah, massive play there for Ryan Palmer to pit a few laps earlier than Sandwich and Von Duvet. And now it's put on a huge gap between those guys. So great call there by Palmer. Looks like Palmer's going to have a little go here at Pitasso. We'll turn off the telemetry here. We'll just go to race info and we'll just sit on here with Palmer. Take a break here just for one lap and watch him try to put the move on his old mate and fellow Admin Pitasso. Enjoy the ride, guys. What a save there by Pitasso, but we're seeing a few of our key race runners transit pit lane at the moment. Excuse me everyone, my controller just ran out of power. We'll just flip that one back on. There we go. Okay, so Ward has pitted and so has Ridwan. Jeez, and these guys got very close by the looks of it. So that undercut is huge by Palmer. Huge undercut by Palmer. And under a second away from the race leader, or effective race leader at the moment. Ladaway running long. Saving fuel Ladaway. So I'm going to be very curious when he decides to pit. But yeah, wow, look how close it is now between these guys. So your effective top three at the moment is Hamza, Palmer, and Pitasso. Josh Green in an amazing stint to pull it up into effectively P4 as we speak. Incredible stint by Josh Green. Big shout out, mate. That is a great drive to be able to bring yourself back in there. Has jumped Ward in the process, but yeah, Josh Green will have to probably pit a lot sooner than some of the guys around and ahead of him. We have the two teammates here battling it out. Wonder if Palmer decides to put the move on his old running buddy, and does comfortably so. Reedwan doesn't want to fire off that. Most Palmer's on running a different race. And from what I can see, I'm pretty sure Humps is potentially looking at a one-stopper, so he has no real need to fight Palmer at the moment. So Palmer's going to pull off this two-stopper now. He's ahead of the effective race leader. He's just going to have to drive away now. He's just going to have to send it, pull the gap, because he'll have one more stop to go. And if he's only half a second ahead of Humza, he's going to lose a bunch of time with his next pit stop. So he's really going to have to pull it all out now. And this is what I was waiting for. Justin Ladaway now in pit lane on lap 24. So he's essentially made 75 litres last half the race. So he won't need anywhere as much fuel as some of these other guys have put on. He can put on 75 litres again if he wants, and he can drive exactly the same as he was and make it all the way to the end. So Ladaway running a huge fuel strategy here. I'm very interested to see what he does here. So he will lose positions here to Palmer and Patasso. He's put on 75 again, which will last him to the end. And Ladaway comes out P5, and he has jumped Ward. So Ward, as I was mentioning, a brilliant opening stint on the medium tyres, consistent 29s throughout, not an inch of error, but Ladaway using the refuel time to his advantage, saves a bit more fuel, gets 24 laps from 75 litres in the tank, which is effectively, as I did say, half race distance. He has jumped Ward. So this is for position, so Ward doesn't have another stop, Ladaway doesn't have another stop. This is full position. Ladaway potentially could bring himself into podium position here. Huge drive by Ladaway. Great stuff, mate. Well done. Well done. But I think Ward's pretty aware of what's just happened, so he'll have comfortable tyres on his car. So we'll have to see if he can maybe go for a move on Ladaway. We know Ward isn't shy at all from pulling a move. Leave that door quarter open, half open, a few mil open, he'll go for it. So Ladaway will have to make sure it doesn't look in the rearview mirror too much. But yeah, this is full position. We'll check in with these guys here at the moment. So Reedwan only 8/10 off the back of Palmer. What has really made this next stint for Reedwan interesting now is he's going to be in dirty air. So whilst he'll just be doing his thing, making sure that he doesn't overdrive the car and manage the tyres, he's going to be in dirty air. So he's probably not going to be a huge fan of it, but he knows what he has to do to get a result. So out of this top group of cars here, I would suspect that Patasso, I don't think he has to stop anytime soon. I think he might actually, to be honest. Josh Green definitely will be in pit lane at some point. Ladaway's good to go to the end. So is Ward. Fonduve's as well. Stingray on the medium tyres. And has managed to make a couple of positions here, so He has made a position on Sandwith. When Sandwith did come out of pit lane, he was ahead of Stingray. Really unfortunate there for LJ early on, running wide for the S's there early in the race, getting into the gravel, into the dirt, and went from P3 to P6 in a matter of 500-600 metres, which is unfortunate, but I won't count him out to still potentially a top 8, top 5 even. So Smithy, yeah, looks like he dropped a position to the guys ahead. Are running in the top 10 at the moment. Eben in the Kiwi pit lane car, running in 11th. Not heavily, I shouldn't say heavily, reasonably worn medium tyres. Looks like he will be in pit lane reasonably soon. Matt Campbell doing quite a long stint here. It looks like he's got some good company behind him. In Walker as well. Pretty sure these guys will be happy there's someone closer than they're racing for position. So those guys duking it out for P12 and P13. And Isaac Foggy Dog, aka Fobboggan, aka Foggity, our guy in 14th position in the Mash Butts Racing number 5 car, fitting in for Crestdale. So still 8/10 here at the top of the leaderboards for Palmer and Hamza. So Palmer, heavily worn softs. He's committing to a 2-stopper. Ridwan, very, very good to go to the end of this. And as those tyres come down for Palmer more and more, he'll just bring in Hamza. So we did see with Stingray stint early on in the race, when those softs dropped off, he was pretty much on par with the long medium runners, if not maybe a couple of tenths off. So Palmer starting to get a little bit of tyre wear now, so I think he might pull the trigger and come into the pits to jump on the medium tyre sooner rather than later. I don't think he wants to lose too much time, but I think he's also probably enjoying being in the lead of the race temporarily, so I have to see if he doesn't bulk Ridwan too much, but it seems like he's got a comfortable lead. As I was saying before, Ward was in P2, but he has jumped ladderway. I've completely missed that. Ward has jumped ladderway, and that is full position. So ladderway ran a long race, or a long opening stint on 24 laps from 75 litres in his car. So probably trading a little bit of pace there for track position, but he wasn't too far off, so he's not dropping a bunch of time to be able to make that fuel save work. And as I did mention before, Josh Green will need another stop, so all that hard work will be reset, and from the looks of it, he'll probably end up coming out in P10 as he is at the moment, close to his teammate in Matt Campbell. So yeah, the two CP cars aren't too far apart. Really unfortunate there for Josh Green. He had really good pace there on that opening stint after his incident to be able to really bring it in. So he's got a lot of hard work to do again if he wants to get a top 8 finish now. Trying to see if we have any other battles on track at the moment. Ladderway isn't too far off Ward, and DJ's actually finally coming to pit lane, and his teammate has as well. Very interesting. Oh, looks like there's been Ridwan has damage, so this is huge for the race. So Hamza with damage. I wonder, does he put on the soft tyres? He does. Big call. Big call there, Hamza, to put on the soft tyre. Wow. So this is lit a fire under the race now. So Hamza, soft tyres. And he's got a bit of work to do. So Pataso will be pitting very soon, and what this is going to do is going to put Ward and Lataway in the top 2 positions in this race. So he'll probably gain a lot of time on Justin Lataway and Ward. But will those tyres last effectively? Nearly 20 laps, just off 20 laps. 18 laps or so. He's going to have to make those softs really work, so he's got to make up at least 4 seconds these guys ahead. He's got to be able to get past them, and then he's still got to have enough consistency and speed in those tyres to be able to maintain position. So Ridwan's got to be very fast now, but once we get to lap 45, lap 46, towards the very back end of the race, he might be compromised for pace. So Ridwan's going to have to wring the neck of his GTR to be able to make that gap and make those passes as well. And these guys in Lataway and Ward, out of all the guys on the grid, these two probably won't make it the easiest for him. So this is really lit a fire here. So we just have Pataso in the lead at the moment, going wide on the exit of turn 4 there. Nearly makes contact with the barrier on the left-hand side. Keeps it away, but yeah, those tyres are they've well and truly seen better days. So he'll probably come to the pits, I would say, this lap. From how that car is moving around at the moment, you can just see how much it just seems a little bit loose, a little bit haywire. Tyres are screaming. So he will be pulling the pit lane. So this has absolutely lit it up, and Ridwan has pulled that gap in something chronic. So he's managed to make a lot of time on these guys up front already. So that'll be good in his recovery drive here to regain the lead of the race if he can. So we'll have to keep an eye on Ridwan's chase and to see if he can even get past these two and be able to maintain, because those tyres might not be in the greatest state by the time the race is over. So we have Stingray currently in P5. He's managed to get past Von Derve here as well. So Stingray up into P5 and pulling a margin on Von Derve. Sandwith not too far behind. Palmer with his 2-stop strategy, he's in P8 right now. He needs to put the medium tyre back on, so interesting call that Palmer's decided to go the mediums and Humps has gone the soft tyre. Smithy only 1.4 off Palmer as well, in the top 10 at the moment. By the fast charging Josh Green, we're looking to make up as much time as he can and maybe even get onto the back of Smithy. You see Matt Campbell in pit lane now, putting on some fuel, maybe putting on some soft tyres as well. Finish off nice strong. Isaac Fogg in P13 and Scott coming to pit lane with damage. So Pataso comes into pit lane right now. We have to see where he pops out in relation to Stingray, Von Derve and Sandwith. So Ward is now going to inherit the lead of the race. Does his PB with a 29.2. And Lataway and Hamza really getting into it now. That was a little bit awkward there with traffic leaving pit lane, but Hums has pulled that move off, and I don't think Lataway is actually fighting him too hard either, so you can see the fuel difference there. So Lataway saving fuel, but with that fuel strategy that he has run, he's put on a fair margin to Von Derve, Sandwith and Palmer, and Pataso for that matter of fact as well. So Pataso now on the soft tyres, 11.4 off Palmer. We'll have to see if that's enough time for him to get to the back of him. But now we have Hamza in the hot pursuit here of Ward for the race lead. So a healthy amount of tread left on that car still, so maybe he won't be in the terrible position to be able to have those tyres in decent condition, but he will be absolutely reeling him in. So this is quite a good healthy battle overall here. So all these guys separated by a second or so in the top three, so it's all going to really blow up very soon. So you can see Ridwan's last 2 laps here in the 1 minute 28, the last 3. So he's putting a second, or just under a second, on Ward per lap the last 3 laps. So I don't think it's going to be a matter of if when Ridwan gets to Ward, it's going to be a matter of when. And can he do it? And will the tyre hang in there? Great recovery drive here by Stingray up into P4. Really, really good drive. A soft tyre stint early on when he had to come in early to fix damage served him well, and it's all worked out for him to slot into P4. And really not too far away at all from the podium position, so if any of these guys want to go biff and barge, we'll be there to get the cookies. And now Ridwan, you just tell the grip difference there between himself and Ward's soft versus medium tyre. He pulled nearly 2 tenths just on the hairpin and the bottom of the hill alone as they navigate the death chicane. And now under a second here, we might sit on board for this one here for this next lap or so. I'll take a little bit of a break, and yeah, hopefully this ends up being a really good battle between Ward for Mitch Curry Motorsport and Ridwan Hamza, our current championship leader for its FR Racing. So hold on guys, we'll enjoy this lap. Unfortunately, that was a little bit premature, that overtake. I didn't think that was going to happen so soon, but it well and truly has. And Hamza now inherits the race lead back on the soft tyre. Was forced into a 2-stop, getting damage. Well, just behind his teammate. He's in the race lead once again. And now he's going to have to really pull a margin here to make sure he's comfortable in that car. Seems like Ladaway is just falling off this front group here a little bit. Lost about maybe half a second or so to Ward. He is saving fuel just ever so slightly though. But this has actually been a really good race by Ladaway regardless. Maybe leaving a tenth or 2 per lap average, but has jumped a lot of cars in the process by doing that. So great race by Ladaway, only 3.3 seconds off the race lead. Stingray, great recovery drive in 4th, just kind of hanging out by himself at the moment. Not too much happening around him. I wonder if there's any other battles on track that we can keep an eye on. Doesn't really seem to be too much. It's really just all the action is here with the top 3 at the moment, to be honest. yeah, not really too much happening at the moment, so everyone's just, yeah, it's really just this front group here, to be honest. Might just bring up, oh, LJ's in the pit lane. LJ is in the pit lane. This is interesting. What's LJ doing here? He's got in the pit lane and he's put the soft tyres on. And he's going to be very close to Josh Green here. I don't wonder what's going on there. I didn't know if he was compromised for fuel and or tyres, but nonetheless, LJ's come in the pit lane. He's put some fresh rubber on. Maybe just looking to go fast, have a bit of fun to finish out the season. Josh Green, only a second off Sandwith here. But with Sandwith on soft tyres, this might be a decent battle to keep an eye on. Ladaway's actually done his quickest lap of the race on that previous lap, on lap 36. So he's not too far away from Ward in P2. This is a really good final outing here for Mishkari Motorsport. His two cars currently holding down P2 and P4 in this race. That's beautiful presented. Camera sponsored Mishkari Motorsport. Nismo GTR GT500 cars looking really nice out on track, so this will be a really good result for him to get two cars to finish inside the top four. But Ladaway just lurking, made a tenth or so, maybe even a couple tenths just on turn 4 to waste Pig alone, so fuel numbers are quite similar. Beg your pardon, sorry, the tyre degradation is quite similar. So we will have to see if Ladaway can maybe get close enough, and he's pulled in another tenth almost, maybe. He made time on corner entry, but on corner exit, Ward to put it back on him. So Ladaway not too far away. You can just see again, he's also made another tenth on him and exiting the chicane, so these guys are going hard at it right now. You can definitely see by that delta between Ladaway and Ward change up and down depending on what part of the track they're navigating, so there's definitely strengths and weaknesses between both cars. So yeah, Ward would definitely have Ladaway just hanging out there in his rearview mirror, pestering him. So yeah, good corner entry there by Ward, but just spins it on exit. Ladaway gets a cleaner exit than Ward does. Is able to put a little bit of time, but that dirty air is torrid through the S's here, but he still managed to make time on him. So these guys are just going blow for blow right now. This is really good racing by these two. I'll just keep a third eye on that one, but we'll just see how everyone else is doing. Sandwith is keeping in front of Josh Green on those soft tyres. So maybe those guys have a little bit more to show, but really other than that, not too much happening. So I guess third and second place, the last two positions on the podium aren't really done. So we'll just ride with Ladaway here temporarily and see what he can do. You can definitely tell how Ward is driving the car in comparison to Ladaway. Ladaway under half a second away from Ward now. Ward just a little bit loose on exit there. I think Lado is too far away to have a send. Maybe he might be able to line up a move going through the last corner if he can get close enough and have a good exit out of the chicane through here. Jeez, Ward really sent it through there. He was on such an angle there. The cars managed to stay grounded. Ladaway was making a lot of time there in the slip, but just had to back it off to make sure it didn't break too early and, apologies, too late, and have the dirty air affect him. Not the best corner exit for Ladaway, dropped a couple of tenths down to Ward. Just making sure that I'm not missing any other potential battles on track. Hamza just driving away now. So despite being forced into a second stop, having to put the soft tyres on late due to damage, he's taking the race lead again and doing his thing. But yeah, these two guys here, well and truly haven't resolved their battles. We've still got another 7 or so laps to go, so Stingray just managing. Whoa, was that a bit of contact there, was it? I did see an awkward touch there between Eben and Stingray. So Eben, despite being a lap down, he really wants to get racy here. Stingray is on warm medium, so it looks like Eben's probably got better pace, but it isn't for position. Do you wonder if Stingray just lets him through, or we'll keep an eye on that anyway. But yeah, these two guys, Ladaway and Ward, are far from resolving their battle. It's really good to watch these two. You see that Ward's tyre wear on the same tyre compound as Ladaway on the racing mediums, but just a little bit more wear, so it's not the biggest difference, but perhaps it just could be enough to bring this battle to life towards the end of the race. Ladaway being in the somewhat of a fuel conservation situation right now, he's not going to demand as much from the tyre as Ward will, so you can definitely tell he's lifting and coasting there just before the braking zone, just save a little bit of fuel. And he's also in a decent slip where, even though the dirty air is affecting him, as I did say, he won't be demanding heaps from the car. You can definitely tell that Ward's going to be hustling more, and who knows, I might surf Ladaway. I might surf him better towards the end. That tyre degradation is actually starting to be a little bit noticeable now, to the point that it might play a factor now. So Ladaway stuck in the dirty air. He just might have to be patient here and poach and wait for an opportunity. Everyone is really spread out at the moment though. Not really too much going on, from what I can see. Actually, Nightwalker isn't too far off Eben here. The WRT GTR and the KPL Lexus. Oh, Eben just goes a little bit wide. They'll have to see if Nightwalker can jump on the opportunity here. What if does he make a plunge? That is a serious slip here. Evan puts the indicator on. I did not want to bar of that. And he's actually got damage from that as well. gets a switcheroo there. My Walker's centered in there just a little bit too hard, but the suspension and front aerodynamic damage there for Evan and the Kiwi pit lane car will affect him a lot. So my Walker again will probably make a move to the last corner here maybe. Evan, probably a good chance he'll come into pit lane. A little bit awkward there between these two. And there goes Evan into pit lane. And Isaac Fogg off into the gravel. That was a good save there. Good save there. And he started 29.3. That's his fast lap of the race there too. So not the best night here for Isaac, but that's a pretty good lap time, mate. So you're definitely not far off it. Let's check him back with these guys. So it looks like Ward has put on nearly a second to Ladaway. So this is race changing stuff for these guys. So Ladaway has lost 5 tenths to Ward. His last lap, lap 43 there, 1 minute 31 to Ward's 1 minute 30. So something has definitely happened there, maybe a bit of a moment. Yeah, other than that, guys, really not too much really happening at the moment. Josh Green isn't too far off Sandwith, but Sandwith did come in late to put soft tyres on. So as I did say at the top of the broadcast, guys, we just wanted to stream to commemorate 10 years of the Touring Car Series taking place in the TrackStars Racing League. So once again, I've already said it a couple of times now, but huge shout out to all the people that have made it possible, past and present admins, founders, moderators, stewards, timekeepers, streamers, people who have all been a part of the journey along the way through GT6, GT Sport, and now GT7. So there was a few regulation changes from last touring car season into the new season this season in 2024. Had a draft system take place. You've got a new league, sorry, not a league, new team in Kiwi Pit Lane joined the grid for 2024. Some new drivers come up, new faces, familiar faces, but it's all stayed the same as far as racing on track goes, and it's been a phenomenal season by all involved. So yeah, big shout out, especially to the original founder, Jarman. I hope you're watching, mate. Hope you're enjoying your time off from all things racing. So big shout out to you, mate. All the best. Take care, and we hope to hear and see from you soon. Also, big shout out to Ryan Palmer and Nick Patasso. On track these two guys at the moment, but these two are obviously admins, a couple of the head admins of the league as well. So big congratulations to Ryan Palmer and Nick for bringing this season together, making it all possible for all the teams. And all the teams on the grid as well. We've had a few teams be part of this series for a long time. It's Racing, now known as It's FR Racing, collaborating with FR Racing to come together and join forces. Mishkari Motorsport. And as I was just trying to debrief a little bit to create some on-track action, Justin Ladaway, we get back to the race, ladies and gentlemen. Justin Ladaway in KPL car, right under the rear bumpy of Ward, so we'll have to see if he can make the move. Not the greatest exit through the chicane for Ladaway. I think he is a little bit too far to make a move here, unfortunately. Just a little bit too far, but Ward's going to be wrestling those tyres. You can see the fuel numbers there are quite different between Ward and Ladaway. So Ladaway's going to really have to nail corner entry, exit, braking, all those things that are fundamental to making a lap come together if he's going to pull the Ward here. And he's under 210. Does he go for a move? Doesn't go for a move. Interesting. I thought you might have had a send there, but no move there. And now Ward put a couple more tenths here on Ladaway, so we'll have to keep an eye on this. This is probably the only real big battle on track at the moment. Oh, Ward gets it sideways. Ward gets it huge sideways, but I just noticed there's also lap traffic up ahead in front of Ward there, so we'll have to keep an eye on that as well and see if that plays a factor. So you can just see Justin Ladaway battling that dirty air. 3 tenths now, come up to 2 tenths. Unfortunately, not close enough. Ward is really struggling into that car. Stopped. He runs it quite wide. Bulks Ladaway here. Now Ladaway. This is the closest he's been all throughout this second stint. He's almost too close coming through the chicane. A little bit of contact there with the barrier. Ward's hit the side on exit. He tries to move it over, but there's nothing Ward can do, and he's gotten damage from that as well. So Ward has hit the left-hand side barrier on the exit of the chicane. Whether it was dirty air fighting the tyres or even contact, I'm not entirely sure. I don't want to speculate too much at all, but he's right on the rear wing now. Ladaway moves the car right over. And Ward's getting enough of a tow here with the damage to stay in touch, but it might be a little too late for Ward in the Mishkari Motorsport GTR. And Ladaway and sideways for Ward on exit. I do wonder if that was contact. It wasn't between these two, but this is well from over. Ward is lit and oh, they've both gone side to side. Big old tank slapper there, getting a little bit of contact with the curb and the grass. Ward is putting on an insane drive. These last few corners with that damage and that dirty air is enough for him to lose 3, 4, 5 tenths to Ladaway. So that's pretty much over with now. So, wow. What a battle between these two guys. They've been fighting for the last 15, 20 laps or so. So Ladaway's put on an incredible job here with the fuel strategy. Saving fuel has jumped Von Duve, Palmer, Patasso, Sander with Stingray. Those guys have had their own issues as well. But Ladaway going to show it's not all just about raw pace. And as we navigate the last corner, Ridwan Hamza comes not over the line P1, but also P1 in the Drivers' Championship for SFR Racing. Ridwan goes back-to-back in the Touring Car Series and takes the race win and the championships. Congratulations to Ridwan Hamza. Ward comes over the line third after a great battle. A great battle with Ladaway. Stingray filling in for Mishkari Motorsport comes over the line fourth. Von Duve will finish fifth for WTC Racing. Palmer sixth. Finishes P6. So it's a great job by him. We'll have to see if Palmer returns to the grid next season. Followed by Sandwith in P7. Really unlucky for him early in the race. Going wide at the S's early in the race. Dropping from P3 all the way to P6. But finishes P7 in this one. Patasso in P8. So he was in P7. So maybe something's happened to Patasso in that one. Followed by Josh Green in P9. Has had an incident early on in the race. Dropped him right to the rear of the field. So the recovery drivers brought him back into the top 10. He finishes P9 to round out the season. One more car to finish off the race here. We have Smithy filling in for Andrew Scott in the second of the WTC Lexus RCF GT 500 machines. He comes over the line in P10. Matt Campbell for CP Motorsports in P11. And that is the race, guys. So I'll finish off the rest of the order there. We have Scott in the WRT GTR in P12. Eben filling in, having a debut here as well in the KPL Lexus in 13th. And Isaac Fogarty in 14th in the number 5 MSR machine. So there is your final finishing positions, guys, provisionally till the Stewards reports get dropped, if there is anything to report. But other than that, guys, that is the season wrap. So Ridwan finishes the race in P1. P1 in the Drivers' Championship, and SFR Racing also take honours in the Teams Championship as well. So they've done a phenomenal job in the top category here. Josh Green, from what I know, should finish P2 in the Drivers' Championship, and Justin Ladaway solidifying his debut in the main series in touring cars, and his main debut in TrackStars just in general for a full-time season. He comes in second in this race, but P3 in the Drivers' Championship as well. And Mitch Curry Motorsport, their swan song farewell, potentially as a full-time team in TrackStars. They have 2 cars in the top 4, finishing 3rd and 4th. So Stingray, really unlucky, getting damaged early off, forced into a 2-stopper, but still a really good recovery drive. Only finished 14 seconds off the race leader and only 5-6 seconds off the podium getters, and also finishes with the fastest lap of the race. Von Duve 5th, Palmer 6th, Sandwith 7th, and Patasso 8th. So that is the season done, guys. So yeah, wow. So once again, congratulations to our race winner and championship winner in Ridwan Hamza. That's me smashing Apex. Just thought I would do this to wrap up the season because it has been 10 years of TrackStars. So like I said, Jarman, mate, hope you are watching. All the best to you. Hope we see you again soon. Thanks for founding the league, making the league what it is today, as well as all the other past and present admins, moderators, stewards, all the people that make it all possible. So that's done for touring cars. That's done for the year. 2024 is a wrap. And yeah, huge shout out to all the races today, past, that all bring this together. So I'm Smashing Apex, and we'll see you again in 2025 for Super Formless, coming to you early next year.